Out here just finished painting the rear bumper on my van. Doing this video for those that are looking for like color match paint, can't find it. A lot of Duplicolor. You can get color match for your car and paint your car, but certain special type paints you can't buy it like this. This is a 2005 Chrysler Town and Country, and the paint code on this is butane blue pearl. That's the paint on this car, and nobody had it, not unless you special order it online. And I didn't want to do all that. The cans I get online, you have to puncture the bottom. It mixes a hardener in the paint. So what I did, I found out Sherwin Williams will color match your paint, and I was able to get a can of paint especially mixed for this vehicle. And the can's gonna be a little teeny can. I think it was like $65-$70. I'm not sure. They gave me stir sticks and the drainer. Of course, depending on what kind of paint you got, could be more, could be less. Like I said, this is special paint. Butane pearl blue this car is painted with. I couldn't find Duplicolor. Don't make the paint for this. I went around to all the parts stores, couldn't find it. Like I said, there's some online that specially mixes them, but you got to do the hardener, and it's expensive too. And I don't like ordering online, get the wrong color or something. But anyway, went down to Sherwin Williams and mixed it, and I sprayed it. You can see the paint in there. Sprayed it at one of these sprayers right here. You pour it in there and spray it. This paint, I can't remember what the name of it is, but you don't use hardener. You spray it. I didn't have to mix it either. Usually back in the day you had to mix it. I forgot what kind, what the name of this type of paint is called, but I didn't have to mix it, didn't have to thin it. I sprayed it. You can see, matches the car. Looks great. So if you got a paint you're having trouble finding, I would get one of them reusable spray cans. One thing about these, I would get a couple of them just in case you don't want to run out midway. Get a couple of these. Once you use them, throw them away, because the paint can get hard, clog up the nozzle. You don't want that when you're spending $70-$80 on a can of paint. I've used the color match paint for it. They're all right, but like I said, I couldn't find it for this vehicle. I went down to Sherwin Williams, they mixed it for me, and looks great, I think. We'll talk about painting for those who don't know about painting just a little bit, or those that do know. You got to tape up your vehicle like this, because overspray will drift onto your car. Also need to sand the bumper with light sandpaper. 800 to 1000 grit. This worked good. Now, this bumper, it was hit here and over there. It has some scratches in it. You can use a little bit heavier sandpaper. If you rub it with your hand and you feel it, the scratch, you can feather edge it down to make it smooth with the finish. But that's for somebody who knows what they're doing, you know. Take a look here. If you don't know about painting, when you sand them down with that light sandpaper, you don't want to get a heavy sandpaper, because what you do, you cut into that bumper. When you paint it, it'll look like claw marks all over it. If you do too hard of sandpaper. What was I going to say now? Okay. One other thing is, you want to wipe it down with, I wiped it down with water. I usually have alcohol, rubbing alcohol I'll wipe it down with. Paper towels, make sure there ain't no grease or dirt on it, but didn't have nothing, so had to use what I got. Yeah. So that was just a little bit of talking of those that didn't know about you can get automotive paint at Sherwin Williams. They'll mix it up for you. Get a little can, or big can, but a little can. It was enough to do this bumper. Still got something left over. I think it was like $70, something like that. They gave me the little can, stirring sticks, the things you can filter it out with, the filters. Give it a look. I just got done painting it. If you're doing this, remember to tape up your car. Don't use too heavy a sandpaper. Tape it up good, because you get overspray on your wheels, tires, lenses. use painter's tape. Don't use that old shit you found in your garage, some sticky crap, because you use old tape on a car, you put it on there, you pull it off, you're gonna have a glue mess. So you want to use brand new painter's tape. You do not want to leave the tape, any kind of tape on a car, overnight. The dew will get on it, and when it dries, it gets wet. That'd be like taking off glue. It'll be a nightmare. Tape up anything you think is gonna get paint on it. Wipe it down once you're sanding. You sand something and you go to spray it, that grease, that dirt, whatever's left over, it's gonna be a mess. So wipe it down. These cans right here did a great job, but do not use these again. I would not recommend it, especially when you got specialized mixed paint, car paint, because these could clog up. Then you got a mess when you're trying to spray, start fizzing out. Throw these away each time you use them. Now, some people say you can, but when you're dealing with hot oil paint, you don't want to get screwed over. So make sure you get a couple of them. And well, that's just a look at what I did to it. Oh, that one's gone. These little sensors back here, paint in. Don't paint over them. You got a bumper that got these little sensors in it, tape them up. You do get overspray on something. Let's say you get overspray, you take this off, there's a little overspray, that happens. Be very careful, but what you can do, you can take some gasoline or alcohol, get it on a rag, and you can rub it on there to get the overspray off. But be careful, don't get no heavy, just a little bit. Don't want it dripping or drip on your paint. Oh, another thing is when you're spray painting outdoors, the bugs, you gotta deal with the wind. I do not like clear coating. That's just my opinion. Clear coat will flake off, or you can have a mess. It'll start flaking if you don't do it exactly right. Later on down the line, flaking off, and then you'll have an ugly mess. Yes, this could scratch easier, but you can repaint it anytime. I haven't had no problems with it just doing it like that. I haven't used this kind of paint before. Usually when you have to mix it, or you have to mix the paint, add the hardener before you spray it and thin it down. This paint, I didn't have to do it. I can't remember what the name of it is, but it's at Sherwin Williams. It's another new stage paint or whatever, so you ain't got to mix it or add hardener. I guess you can mix it if you thin it. I mean, not mix, but you usually have to thin paint to spray it out the gun, and you have to use a hardener. But I didn't have to do this. It turned out pretty good. And I did test this paint before I sprayed it, just to make sure, you know, how it looked, how durable it was on another piece. This bumper looked like crap. It had a black undercoating under it, and every time it got hit twice, and it was black and it looked like crap. So this is just a little video of paint and color matching paint talking. Thanks for watching.